من حقنا الطبيعي أن نأسر جنود إسرائيليين. في وضوح أكثر من هيك؟ من حقنا، وأقول لكم أكثر من حقنا، من واجبنا أن نفعل ذلك، من واجبنا أن نفعل ذلك. ليه؟ طيب قديش سولون الإخوان طالعين بعملية تبادل الأخيرة؟ حيسولون 2 سنين، بقية الأسرى بعدهم بالسجون. هذا الصياد فران، مين بيكشف مصيره ومين بيرده؟ طيب هي 1.5 2 صرنا نقاش مفاوضات بالمرحلة الثانية، ما في نتيجة. مين سائل عن أسرانا بالعالم كله؟ ما في نتيجة. التجربة مع الإسرائيلي تقول إذا أردت أن تستعيد الأسرى والمعتقلين وتكشف مصير المفقودين عليك أن تأسر جنودا إسرائيليين. مو هيك؟ اللي بدي يقولوا اليوم انه لا، هذا مش عيب ولا جريمة ولا عمل إرهابي، هذا حقنا وهذا واجبنا، وهذا يمكن نعمله بيوم من الأيام، يمكن نعمله بيوم من الأيام، ما حدا يتفاجأ فيه.
Attacks throughout this country, and here in Beirut we noticed that people who would normally stay out in the streets and go out to work and be with people in general outside, they basically decided to stay at home, and the streets are eerily quiet throughout the day, and tonight even in the middle of a summer night there should be still people outside celebrating, eating at restaurants and open air restaurants. This is not happening at all, Wolf. So there is definitely a sense that something big is about to happen. At the same time, of course, there is also the realization that Israeli jets have dropped leaflets warning civilians in the southern suburbs of Beirut to stay away from buildings controlled by Hezbollah. That area, of course, being a predominantly Muslim area where the Hezbollah support is quite great. And
the message from Secretary Rice, as well as from the President today, was that Israel has a right to defend itself, but it can't overreact. There's a fear among the U.S. government that an overreaction could topple the fledgling democracy in Lebanon. Secretary Rice also had some tough talk for Iran and Syria.
Wolf, earlier Wednesday evening, 2 Katyusha rockets, according to the Israeli military, hit this port city of Haifa. The Israeli government views this as a major escalation because this is the first time that Hezbollah rockets have reached so deep inside Israeli territory. It's still unclear precisely what type of missiles were fired. A Katyusha rocket has a range of around 12 miles. Haifa is about 30 miles away from Lebanon's border. That could mean that Hezbollah has managed to extend the range of the Katyusha rockets, or it could be a different missile altogether. Tonight, though, the Israeli military is advising residents here to stay close to safe rooms as well as bomb shelters. Hezbollah denies the missiles which were fired were in fact theirs, but it has claimed responsibility for hundreds of other rocket attacks in the northern part of Israel, killing at least 2 people, wounding dozens of others. And as Israel escalates its military campaign in Lebanon, residents both here and further north are now bracing for further attacks. Well, all right.
Well, on the Hezbollah side, it's really interesting. I was in Beirut, and they took me on this sort of guided tour of the Hezbollah-controlled territories in southern Lebanon that were heavily bombed. They're much cruder. Obviously, they don't have the experience in this kind of thing, but they clearly want the story of civilian casualties out. That is their what they are heavily pushing, to the point where on this tour I was on, they were just making stuff up. They had 6 ambulances lined up in a row and said, okay, they brought reporters there. They said, you can talk to the ambulance drivers. And then one by one, they told the ambulances to turn on their sirens and to zoom off. And people taking that picture, would be reporting, I guess, the idea that, these ambulances were zooming off to treat civilian casualties, when in fact, these ambulances were literally going back and forth down the street just for people to take pictures.
Meanwhile, Hezbollah missiles continue to fall on the northern city of Haifa and beyond. 1 person was lightly injured by shrapnel in those attacks. We go live now to IDA's Viva Press, who is in Haifa following developments. Viva, what's going on?
Yes, Leah, indeed, the north today was hit by a massive barrage of rocket fire. There are reports that some 70 rockets landed in the northern area within just a 1-hour time frame. The rockets landed in Haifa, as you mentioned, Carmel, Tiberias, and other northern communities. In Haifa, indeed, one person was wounded by shrapnel, and 6 others suffered shock wounds. One of the fortunate things about the rockets that landed today in Haifa is that they mainly landed in open areas. It also hit an empty building nearby in a town just east of Haifa. An old age home had to be evacuated, and the residents are all fine, but they did have to be evacuated from there.
One rocket hit next to cooking gas tanks at this apartment. 3 residents, including an elderly woman, were rushed to hospital. Some 100 rockets slammed down across the north, from Haifa to Kiryat Shmona, Tiberias, and other towns throughout the day, according to the IDF, with the wailing of sirens barely ending in one area as another region began throughout the Galilee. One rocket rammed into Shai Feldman's home in Nesher, demolishing almost everything but his piano. He sent his family away days ago, fearing such an attack. 37 civilians have been killed in rocket attacks since the beginning of the fighting 12 days ago. Defense Minister Amir Peretz says 2,200 rockets have been launched at Israel. 12 days into the fighting, the IDF hasn't yet taken the brakes off its threatened large-scale ground operation. But from Beirut and Tyre on the Lebanese coast to Bin Jbeil and scores of other locations throughout the country, IDF aircraft and artillery hammered anything and everything military that Hezbollah had built, including in Maroun Aras near Bin Jbeil, the site of a fierce fight between troops and Hezbollah operatives last week. This tank took part in the battle and is being refurbished for further fighting. The senior IDF echelon believes that in order to thoroughly wipe out the Hezbollah presence in southern Lebanon, significant ground forces will have to be brought into action. But that move awaits a political decision.
التلفزة إلا أن موتها فرض ذلك لهول الجريمة. لكن حتى هذه الجريمة لم تفسح مجالا لصورة الطفلة في أثير كثير من القنوات. فها هي هيئة الإذاعة البريطانية إحدى أعرق وسائل الإعلام العالمية تتحدث عن قتلى، لكنها لا تظهرهم على الشاشة. حتى موتهم كان افتراضيا بالنسبة للمشاهدين الغربيين. أما أسباب ذلك فتتعدد، فقد يقول البعض خوفا على مشاعر المشاهدين، بينما يذهب البعض الآخر إلى حد القول بالتواطؤ الدولي لحجب أثر الجريمة. لكن البي بي سي التي حجبت الصور تكلم مراسلها الميداني عن تراجيديا الواقع، لكنها تراجيديا افتقرت إلى روح الحقيقة الغائبة غياب الصورة. صورة يدرك كثيرون في مواقع القرار الإعلامي العالمي أنها عامل أساسي في تشكل الوعي لدى ملايين المشاهدين الغربيين. غياب صورة الضحايا واكبه تكثيف لصور أخرى احتلت متن الشاشة. إنها الجموع الغاضبة التي هاجمت مقر الإسكوا في وسط بيروت. ردود الفعل حضرت إذن بينما غاب الفعل ذاته. حضور اكتسب المعنى نفسه لدى قناة CNN التي سعت إلى ربط عناوينها الرئيسية حول المجزرة بصور مقتحمي مبنى الأمم المتحدة في بيروت. لكن الصورة على شاشة CNN كانت أوضح بقليل من زميلتها الإنجليزية. جثامين الضحايا ظهرت ولكن على استحياء